Okay, good morning everybody. We've just listened to a lecture on the sex industry, and today the purpose of our discussion is to to concentrate more on the dark side of the sex industry and what can be done to control that. But before we start, I'd like to invite someone here to give a brief summary of the lecture that we've just heard. Would anybody like to begin?
Well, from the lecture, coming from the lecture, there are four main points that were in the lecture. First, the lecture starts off with the definition of the sex tourism and the scale of it, and then the dark side that we will more concentrate on, and how can we control and manage it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to start off with the definition of the tourism, sex tourism, given by the WTO. Sex tourism is the trip organized within tourism sector or outside the sector, but using its structure and network with primary purpose affecting sexual relation by tourists with residents at the destination. So,
and it's actually very difficult to get a number of how many people come to the country for sex tourism, and then about 10% of in the third Tenigun, the research from Chulalongkorn University said about he estimates in 2004 that in Thailand about 2.8 million people involved in sex tourism, and that 2 million women and 20,000 males and 800,000 such children. It's about nearly 10% of the in Thailand that female be involved in prostitute, and that's very good for economy or not. I'm not sure about that, because they said about 3% of economy part of this come from sex tourism.
The reason why the prostitution is so huge in Thailand is, according to the University of Columbia, it's two factors. The first one is chauvinistic attitude that male is dominating in the society, and the second one is that the government condones it. And after that, we go on by talking about the dark side, about human trafficking as well.
And children's sex tourism. This is main problem of Thailand, because Thailand has been ranked number 1 in the world of child sex tourism. That's nearly 40% of women who work as a prostitute in Thailand from children.
40% of prostitutes in Thailand is children.
Yeah.
Under 16.
18. Majority, yeah, but a lot of them under 16. Yeah.
According to the U.S. Research, the child sex, more obviously from 5 countries. Thailand, of course, one of the top. Also, India, Cambodia, Mexico, and Brazil. And as you mentioned earlier, and 40% of prostitutes in Thailand are the kids under 16 years of age. And I think the reason that the child sex happened.
Before we are going to that, I think in the review there is also the mentioning about the controls at the end, because that is very important. That's why we are discussing about this. For the first point is the international policing, and the second one is stronger laws, and the last one is change local attitudes, which means the re-education to the local people who engage in the sex tourism. So yes.
Okay, so we've covered the lecture now. Thank you very much. That's good. Let's just look at some key terms. Now, prostitution is something that we all kind of know what is meant by that, but what specifically? or technically are we talking about? Just let's delimit this. The term prostitution itself, what is it?
It's like the people who use their body part to return for the money. So people by giving money to the women, children, or the men as well, and then they're just having sex together, and it's kind of like something is too severe, like hurt themselves, hurt the partner, and it's the big problem in Thailand and around the world today.
And let's just clarify the definition of sex tourism again. The World Tourism Organization gives a definition, but like anything from the United Nations, it's always put into this very dry language. So how can we just sort of clarify what is meant by sex tourism? How would you define it?
Well, like, people pay for sex.
People
come to the country and
travel
for
for
sex.
I think the most interesting part of the definition for me was about that it may not be part of it, it could be outside the sector, but it uses the networks of the tourism industry. What exactly do they mean by that? I mean, if you look back at that definition, can you sort of paraphrase or summarise or clarify what is meant by that? You know, there was a part about there about networks and...
The network tried to advertise the tourists to come to each country. For example, if they like to come to Thailand, of course, the network would advertise all the sex business in Thailand, how good it would be, you know, and attract people to come and have the sex at the destination at that country.
But we are talking about the social networks that are in the dark side, not in the public.
Oh no, we're just at this stage we're talking about the whole tourism industry.
I think networking. Because like sex, we couldn't advertise it on public. You must use some kind of network, like people know the place and then they mouth to mouth or something like word to word. Yeah.
But how is, I mean, you know, the sex tourism industry will use formal sort of things like the internet and so on. What are some of the sort of more informal uses of the internet now which publicise the sex industry that you're aware of?
I think they use what's it called, massage parlors and stuff like that. They don't use the prostitute term, they use
we have a softer term for it.
Right, well let me just give you a clarifying example. When I was a child growing up in Australia, there was a magazine called Australia Post, and they would always have advertisements for massage parlours in Thailand in the back of the magazine. You probably saw it. So in the old days it was classified ads, but how has the internet now changed to facilitate the sex tourism industry? What are some very common things which are used now? Like they're presented as one thing, but they're not that really. There's something else. Not so much export, not even that formal.
I explained to see one website, and I'm not sure if it's going to be the same thing that we think, because I saw a Thai lady, she married with a British guy, and she lived in Britain. She sell herself, and she had sex with her husband, and she also tried to persuade people to have sex with her and go to Thailand for travel, something like that.
Right.
Is it escort? Is it called escort?
Kind of like dating websites?
Yeah.
Dating websites which act as a front.
ThaiWife.com.
Right, all that stuff, right. So this, would you say that that's probably a large part of it? It's just a front for tourism or prostitution? Okay. All right, so we're dealing with a small formal part of it and then a very big informal network which composes this very large industry. So the question I'd like to start off with today is, firstly, as we've heard, it is a very big industry. It's $4.3 billion per year, 3% of the, but it's a black market, so we don't actually know how big it is. So the question I've got to ask you firstly is, forget the dark side for the moment, but just generally speaking, is this an industry that Thailand can afford to lose?
In the long term.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think we should make it legal.
Okay. All right.
For my point of view, I think we should make it legal.
Why
If we
is that?
can't stop it, like make it real, and then
Can you expand on that?
like
Can you give some?
like
give
in
some ideas?
US or in Australia, like they have prostitute is a real job. It's not like people just go there and then pay for their sex. That's it. But they have like policy to control it, so it will go like in the same direction. It's not like they want to have like child and stuff like that. They will probably like have real place. People can go there and then pay for sex, and it's probably safer than it now.
I think you talk more about the Netherlands because they are completely open with it, with the sex.
But that will not happen in Thailand.
No, I know.
Thailand
Just-
cannot open the prostitution house. That will not happen in Thailand. So the way it is in Thailand is just right now. The prostitution house in terms of the massage parlor and those Turkish bath of Thai massage, happy ending, those kind of things, is running in the right direction, in the middle way, not like open or not just no at all. That's right in the middle.
Yeah, I think Thailand we shop cultures. We shop like we have very good traditional things, and we have many places very good to travel. Not just because sex tourism. We have the beach, we have the mountains, we have like waterfalls and many travel.
Yes.
And
It should be, but not promote.
Yeah, it should
not
not
promote.
be.
According to the lecture, because it's a huge revenue which we are talking about here, and I think that we in my opinion, I think we should make it illegal, because I think since I think we have Thai government haven't deal with this problem properly in the last 10 years, because actually we just let the tourism market grows in a way that it support the revenue, but we are not thinking about the quality of the customers that are coming to Thailand. And actually I think right now I agree with Tourism Authority of Thailand that they are trying to open the new markets to the Middle East, to India, and to Australia as well.
Can I ask you, sorry, what kind of market that you're talking about?
The tourism market in general.
I understand tourism in terms of what? Sex or something?
No.
Normal
I
tourism.
know, I
plan
like
for
to be
the
more specific.
Yes, I'm talk from the sex tourism now. I'm going back to the strategies of the Tourism Authority of Thailand, that they are trying to solve this problem by the
New marketing campaigns,
of,
right?
by the new marketing campaigns. But however, they as they are moving along with their strategies and trying to bring revenues to the country, they forgot that this part is still a black part of the tourism that is causing the problem to the professional tour operators and the tourist guides like me. So that's
Okay. Like we studied 2 days ago regarding the tourism campaign for 2011, they tried to promote the green.
Go green.
Go green.
Go green, yes.
So that's the thing that we sort of looking for in tourism, and we don't want the government to focus on sex tourism, and therefore I think 50% of tourism campaign should come from the TAT first. That's the major things to encourage people to come to Thailand, not hidden things about sex or women. That would be the one of the
So we can lose 3%.
problem solving.
So we can lose 3% of economy, right?
No. We don't lose 3%, but the government cannot touch the sex tourism anyway. It's like right on top of table. Like, okay, we will promote sex tourism. That will not happen. That cannot happen.
That won't happen.
But what the government can do is control, pretty much show that they try to reduce this thing, like those child prostitution and those sex everything, that they can show that we are having control on this, and sex tourism that already running, like those massage parlor that a lot of Chinese tourists